YouTube, what's happening is Sunday, July 14th. You can see we have a full slate of baseball, but look at the times. There's no Sunday night baseball tonight because the All-Star break is upon us. Drop a like, subscribe, share if you haven't, because yesterday, hey, I went 10 and 10. I am limping into the All-Star break, minus 2.85 units. We're still up 75 units in the first half of baseball. I mean, come on, that's a great start to the baseball season overall. So on top of that, little side notes on things. I'm going to try to do this video much quicker because the last couple of videos have been over an hour. Yeah, not today. I've already recorded the whole video and we're looking at about 50 minutes. So it's going to be a lot quicker. I'm doing the intro again because I forgot. I want to break it down again. Just because baseball stops doesn't mean I stop. Tomorrow, there will be a video. On Monday, we're going to do home run derby, home run props. We're going to look at all of that. Tuesday is All-Star game. There will be a video on props, who we're taking, there will be plays, will be bets put on the All-Star game. Wednesday, we're going to do futures. We're going to look at, division winners, Cy Young, all Rookie of the Year, all those props. Anything we can try to invest in the second half on, we're going to do that as well. And Thursday will be an evergreen video based on like a background of how I do these bets, a little background on the model, just things like that in general that I could post that could stay up for a year if need be. So there'll be videos every day is what I'm saying. So just because we're done with baseball doesn't mean I'm done. So there will be videos every day. So other than that, remember one thing, I don't give out plays. I give out information. I give out data. Then I tell you who I'm taking. I don't tell you to take my plays. If you take my plays, tail at your own risk. Let me throw it out there. Tail at your own risk. It is up to you. I want you to take this information, compare with others' information, and you figure out which play you want to take. Because as you can see, sometimes my plays don't work, and sometimes they do. It's baseball. What can we do? So either way, drop a like, subscribe. Let's get this show on the road with the first game right now. All right, first game, we got the Yankees and the Orioles. You can see that the Orioles are a slight favorite at home. You got the total at 9.5. Looking over at the bats, we see that 41.5% NRP based on what they've done this year. 4.7 versus nothing for the Orioles. It's 0.7, but it might as well be nothing. They got a run yesterday, though. Good job for them. 243 versus 194. Yankees have the advantage of the bats, let's be honest here. 10.7 versus 7 strikeouts. Yankees are striking out a good bit, too. So Yankees advantage of the bats. We have pitchers today. Let's see who's pitching. We got Rodon going out there. He has been giving up a lot of runs recently. That's the best way to put it. He hasn't faced Baltimore recently, but the dude has been struggling to not give up runs. So Kramer, on the other hand, you can see his numbers, has faced the Yankees recently, didn't pitch at all in June, so his first game back was great, and then he got roughed up against the Cubs. So up and down, what are we going to do with that? So, but he does strike dudes out. That's something we want to look at. So let's look at closer at the matchups and the props. So this is Outlier. If you don't know what Outlier is, this is what I use for all my props. This is how I get matchups. This is what I use for odds. There's a link in the description. Check it out. You get a free trial for a full week. It's awesome. Check it out. It's free. Go for it. It's awesome. So here you can see Rodon. He has faced Baltimore once this year. Has a 13.5 ERA per 9. He had 4 innings. It wasn't good. You can see one of the things I'm like to look at now is home runs versus what they've done in their career. We have a couple home runs per hit. We can see how Baltimore hits lefties, and you can see Hayes loves some lefties in 61 at bats. Mountcastle loves him some lefties. Adley loves him some lefties, so there's a few people we might want to add to this home run list because Adley might go on a hit parlay. I'm going to start doing those in the next part of the, once we get to the second half of baseball, after the All-Star break, I plan on adding hits to it too. So, because when somebody has a average of 385 and it's 117 at-bats, yeah, I kind of want to put you in at least over half, 1.5 bases. Yeah, I kind of want to do that. So for now, we'll leave it off though, but you can see where the mind's going. This is how we're growing this baseball part for the season. So so you can see that. Let's look at props real quick for Rodon. Hits, 5.5 is your number. I'm not taking that. Strikeouts, no. Earned runs, 2.5 has been pretty good, but Baltimore is trash right now offensively, so I can't do that. So walks, I think Rodon actually might have a good game today. So let's look at his counterpart Kramer here. You can see he faced New York once this year. Earned runs per 9, 2.57. Only thing that really stands out here is Judge in 12 at-bats has 3 home runs. So Judge loves Kramer. So Judge will be going on my home run list, and then we will narrow that list down to 6 dudes, and then we will rock with those 6 dudes. Because I realized in 3 days of doing this now, $1 pays almost 20 grand on my Hard Rock app. So I'm just going to keep doing that because for me, .01 units is a buck. So, hey, why not throw $1 on it? Why not, right? 20 grand, 20 grand. Hey, so, and $1's nothing. So let's be honest here. So 0.01 units of it is going on a 6-game home run parlay. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to put 10, 20 bucks. I'm putting one single dollar. That's because it's the minimum Hard Rock lets me bets. If I could put 50 cents on it, I would. But hey, whatever. So Judge will be one of those people for sure. I thought about maybe even, because look at the bats. So you can see what we got going on here. The numbers are there. Let's look at the props. Hits, no. Strikeouts. How is New York striking out? A good bit. They're 26 in the last 3. So 4.5 for Kramer. I might actually go this. I'm gonna put Kramer over 4.5 Ks. Hopefully they don't get teed off on. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Earned runs, 2.5. He's been roughed up a little bit himself. Walks, no. Okay. So let's look at here. We have pitchers about, they're both, I would say Kramer gets a little bit of an advantage. New York has the bats. They're getting way more runs and they're batting better, so they have the advantage of the bats. So they kind of cancel each other out. Total is currently sitting at 9.5 with pitchers that give up runs. I don't know if I want to do that. I think the only thing I'm going to take in this game is Kramer over 4.5 strikeouts, and we'll put Judge in the home run group, and we'll select out of there at the end. So Kramer over 4.5 Ks, next game. Next up, we got KC and Boston. You can see Boston's a slight favorite at home. The total is 9.5 currently. 52.8 on the Nerfy. With these pitchers, no shot. Bello gives it too many runs, let's be honest here. 4.7 versus 4.3, they're both top 11 in runs. 250 versus 278, they're both middle top in the batting average. KC doesn't strike out, Boston strikes out a ton. We know that. So we will see what single strikeouts we're looking at too. Pitching, we got Bello. I told you he gives up runs. Here you go. 9-5, 5-7, 6-4, 9-5. Dude gives up runs to everybody. His best game was 7-1 against Miami, who offense is always bottom half. So that's not that impressive. So you see those numbers. Singer, on the other hand, he balls out. He had a rough game against New York, but then he's been balling out since. He's been doing pretty good. So they haven't faced each other on the screen anyways. Let's look over here at the outlier. Bello, he has not faced KC this year, as you see. How is he? For his career, he's only given up 1 home run to the current KC batters, and that was Renfroe. KC hits righties, as you see here. Up and down. Witt's at 322. You can see, outside of that, there's a 276. There's nothing really too impressive out here. It's like, whoa, okay. The OPSs, you can see these, 938 for Witt's impressive. I'm like, maybe to put Witt in the home run, maybe not. I don't know. Let's look at some props real quick, see what we got. Earned runs is 2.5 for Bello. I am putting that in here because Casey's offense is good enough, and Bello has shown to give more than you can see. You can see how many runs he gives up. So, and it's 113 is the best number. Over 2.5 earned runs. I will be taking that. Thank you very much. Put that in my cart. Let's go to Ks. I mean, he balled out with 11 Ks last game, and he still gave a 5. So, I mean, let's see. It was great. So, hits, you can see walks. Ooh, he does walk a bit too. Do I do earned runs or walks? Which number's better? Walks is better on a better odds. Let's be honest. Casey's offense is 8th in runs and 13th. I'll stick with the earned runs. I'll stick with it. Yeah, why do I gotta stick? Let me do both. No. We're gonna be smart here. It's the last day before All-Star break. Weird things can happen. So Bello earned runs might be the play. And I'm not doing any pitching outs today because I don't trust any of these pitchers today because we don't know how long they're going to, especially if you're close to if you're going to be an All-Star game. No, you ain't. You're under, if anything. So that's Bello. Let's do Singer. He has not faced Boston this year. His career, he's not given up any home runs. You can see the averages have been terrible, except for Wong is 400, but look at the at-bats. Come on. Boston hits righties this way. You can see there's 305 for Yoshida, 290 for Duran. You can see the numbers, 320 for Devers, 320 with 19 homers. But Singer he's not doing too well against Singer. So, yeah, laid off on that. Earned runs, under, pass, strikeouts. We did say Singer strikeouts. It's 5.5. But it is Boston. I want some action today, so we're going to take Singer over. What do you have last time? It's 7 against Colorado. Yeah, okay. Singer over. Was that 4.5? 5.5 Ks. What are we looking at number-wise? Plus 134. Why is it plus? What's 4.5? Oof. Those are weird numbers. I don't know. I don't think I like that. Singers hit this many times at 4. I'm scared now. I'm gonna lay off. I just scared myself off it. Can't do it. Hits, walks, oh, outs, oots. Okay, nothing standing out in this one. So only problem taking is Bella over 2.5 earned runs. Not gonna take a side because I don't. Well, I lied. I will take a side. I'm gonna take KC. KC moneyline. They're right. It's basically a pick 'em, and Singer's a better pitcher, so I got that. We'll take KC moneyline, Bello 2.5 earned runs allowed, and move on to the next game. Next up, Oakland and Philly. My favorite matchup so far, as you all know that. So we have Philly minus 225. Over under is 10. Looking at the bats, we see 50.2% Nerfy based on these numbers. No shot. Philly scoring the runs, and the pitching is weird today. So 3.7 versus 6 in the runs, advantage Philly. 216 versus 260, advantage Philly in the batting average. 10.3 versus 9, advantage Philly in strikeouts. Oakland strikes out a bunch. We know that. Looking at the pitchers, today we have Estes going out there. Estes got rocked against Boston last game, but they were a complete game gem against the Angels before that, though. So hasn't faced Philly recently, but you can see he's had a couple games get blown up, but most of the time he's 2-3 runs given up on average. His counterpart is Orion Kirkering. However you say that, 1.3 with a 0.95, but he's a reliever. He does not pitch much, as you can see. So he last pitched yesterday. He literally threw 0.2 yesterday. Yeah, today's the 14th. Yeah, this was yesterday. So he threw 0.2. He's going to start off today. Yeah, that's going to make this game impossible. So, but we will try to do some props real quick. So I can do Estes, do the matchup. We want Estes, Philly. How is Philly done against Estes? They never faced him. How does Philly hit righties? As you see, we got 310 for him, 306 for him, 353 for Turner. Turner loves him some righties, doesn't he? Nothing's Marsh left 297, Harper 295 at 14 homers. So you see what you got there. It's nothing's really standing out. I want like a nothing there. So we'll look at the props. Earned runs, no. Strikeouts, this is Oakland, no. Hits, no. Walks, new. And oops, no. Nothing there. Okay, so we don't have any props we can look at. All we have are information. Philly's got the better bats. I don't know who has the better pitcher because Estes isn't all that great. He's okay. He's bottom tier, let's be honest. And against a reliever who has good numbers. So, but who's the guy behind him? Who's pitching the second inning? We don't know. So for me, this game is just too weird. I can't take a Nerfy because I don't trust Estes. I do trust Orion in a Nerfy. I'll be honest. I do like him in a Nerfy because you can see his numbers are good. Dude balls out in his first one inning he pitches, he shuts it down. I just don't trust Estes because Estes likes to give up runs. I don't trust that. So bat wise, side, total, nothing. No, I can't do none of it. I'm just going to pass this entire game and move on to the next one. All right, next up, we got Miami and Cincinnati. We got Cincy as a pretty heavy favorite. Over under is 9. The bats, 58.7. Not with these offenses. I mean, Cincy's still hot. 8.3 runs in their last 3 for first, while batting 330 for first. No shot. I can't do a Nerfy. 4.3 for Miami while batting 316. So Miami's also, they're number 2 in batting average in the last 3 games. So the top 2 teams are going against each other in batting average. Yeah, no shot. 11.7 for strikeouts for Miami is pretty high. Obviously, it's 28th. Cincy, 8th. Nah, not worried about it. Let's look at pitchers. We got Lodolo going out there. And you can see Lodolo has not faced Miami recently, but you can see he got roughed up a little bit against Colorado. But outside that, he's been pretty good. A little bit against Boston, but this was his worst. His counterpart is Trevor Rogers. Pretty decent game there. He's been pretty decent overall. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded. I'm just going to throw it out there. I would not be surprised if he's on a contender in a couple weeks whenever the trades start really flowing. So, because he's had pretty good numbers for a starter. I know some teams, these high caliber championship aspiration teams want them some good pitching. I mean, these are good numbers. So let's look at the props. We'll start with Rogers. Rogers not faced Cincy. You can see his career against he's nothing. India's 2-0, 2 for 2 against him, but nothing of note. Cincy hits lefties fairly well. There's a lot of 300s on here. 314, 313, 302, 500. There's some numbers. Nothing. Where's Hines? Hines is only 250 against lefties. Okay, he can't. I don't think he can assault the lefties like he can the righties. So that's probably a good thing. Ellie is 237. Ellie doesn't like righties. Lefties, likes righties. Okay, good to know. Let's look at some props. Earned runs is 3.5 for this dude today. Why? I mean, it's Cincy, I get it, but strikeouts, no. Hits, how is your earned run almost as high as your hits? That's crazy. You only get, the most you ever gave was 6 hits. I'm going to pass on that. That's too high. Walks and outs. Yeah, nothing there. Let's go to Lodolo now. Lodolo has not faced Miami this year. You can see Lodolo versus the Miami hitters. He's had 6 total at-bats, and you can see what's happened. How does Miami hit lefties? Here you go. You can see we got some low numbers. Edwards is, but he doesn't count. Oh, yeah, there's nothing. 280s. Dela Cruz is the highest at 280 with 4 homers. This is not good for Miami. That's not good at all. Oh, hits. Strikeouts. I didn't go down. Strikeouts 6.5. These numbers are high in this game against the 2 top offenses. That's not looking good. Ugh. Okay, I can't take a prop. Neither prop looks good. Both pitchers are, in my mind, they're decent. Lodolo, I thought would be better. I'll just be honest. He's just struggling. The over-under is 9. I'm going to take the over of 9 today. We passed in the last game. Make sure my list is updated. Over of 9 in this one. And since he gets favored, I don't trust the pitching that much. We're just going to take over of 9 this one. That's it. Lay back and head on to the next game. Okay, this one's going to be real quick. It's the Dodgers and the Tigers, obviously. Dodgers are favored pretty good. It's undecided who is pitching for LA. So how are their odds when we don't know who's pitching? I don't know, but hey, whatever. We do know Detroit's pitcher is Bo Brisket, or Brisky, or Brisket. I don't know, whatever you say it. Over under is 9.5. Look at the bats. We can look at what we can look at that. 47.7 Nervy, not when we don't know who the pitcher is, and the other guy's a reliever. So, 4.7 versus 8, both top 10 offenses. Detroit's number 2 in runs, 245 versus 315. Detroit has advantage in the runs, 9 versus 7 on strikeouts. You see the numbers there. Here are the pitchers. Well, there's one. Here's Bo. Bo is pitching. He's a reliever, as you can see, but he's a reliever who gives up runs. So we had a super high scoring game yesterday in this game. So who knows what we have today? And you can see we don't know who the pitching is for LA, so I don't even have props to show you. I can't do anything at props. I can't show matchup history. I can't show nothing. So this one, you can see the stats here. I'll pause. You can pause and look at these. If they announce pitchers later, by all means, have fun. For me, I'm going to pass on this one and just move on to the next one. All right, we got Colorado and New York. You can see the Mets are minus 200, 8.5 pitcher total. Looking at the bats, Nerfy's highlighted, but not with the offense is still pretty warm for New York. You can see 7 runs while batting 258. That's 3rd and 12th in the majors. 3.3 for Colorado when runs, 200 average. Isn't that good for 24th? And Colorado is striking out a ton like usual for 29th. So Nerfy probably not going to happen, especially when you got this pitcher here. Colorado sending out German Marquez. You see, it was like, oh, his stats, 495. He hasn't pitched since April. Look closely. This is April of 2023 was the last time he pitched. This dude has been out of baseball over a year. When I saw the name, I was like, why does that sound familiar? Yeah, it was last year I heard his name. So he's been out a long time. So he's coming back. When you've been gone this long, we treat it like it's your first game. Obviously it is, but it's your first game of the big leagues because you're going to have rust. It's what's going to happen. So we fade you hard. This is what we're going to do. We're going to fade him. Quintana's going out there. Quintana has been pitching absolute gems out here, especially against Washington. He likes facing Washington. So let's look at the props, see what we got. Let's start with Quintana because we know what he can do. He has not faced Colorado this year. In his career, he has given up a home run to Rogers and a home run to Blackman. You can see the at-bats. Blackman's 516 at-bats against him. That's kind of impressive. If I was doing hit parlays today, he would probably go in a hit parlay, just saying. So Colorado hits lefties. There's a few 300s, another 300. So you can see the numbers here. So Stallings is over 1.0 when it comes to OPS. You can see all the numbers. Let's look at the props. Quintana hits 5.5 against Colorado's offense, which we saw was batting 200 currently. Maybe. Strikeouts, no. Earned runs, he has been on fire. 2.5. Tempted. No. And outs. I don't trust these. I mean, we can. Let me pull up Marquez so we can see. We can at least see the history because he has pitched long enough. So we can see. Obviously, he hasn't pitched at all this year. He hasn't pitched since April last year. History against the Mets. He has done what you see. Bader got a home run. Martinez got a home run. Righties, Mets hit righties like this. They're better against lefties. Everyone knows this. There's a 300 here and a 300 here and a 300 here. That's about all you're going to see. So, and I can't, there's a K prop, 3.5. They're just throwing it out there. What book is this? The books are just trying to get you money because they don't know either because the dude's been out so long. So let's be honest. Pitching matchup, massive advantage for New York. Batting advantage, New York. Odds advantage, that is 200. So, all right, the Mets are going to go into a moneyline parlay, and I'm not going to take anything else in this one. We're being cautious today, so just Mets moneyline. They'll go in a parlay, and then we'll move on to the next game. All right, moving on to Cleveland, Tampa. We have Tampa as a slight favorite, over under 7.5. Looking at the bats, 55.5 Nerfy. Maybe with these, because you see the offenses aren't that good. High digits is what we like to see for Nerfies. 1.7 runs for Cleveland in their last three. 3 runs for Tampa, 27 and 21st. 184 batting for Cleveland, with a 268 batting for Tampa is 10th. We'll look at the pitchers as well, because neither one strikes out much. Lively is pitching for Cleveland. Got roughed up against Detroit in the last game. 3 earned there. 2.2402. Hasn't faced Tampa Bay recently. He's good for a couple runs here and there. Pepio, 4.2 with a 1.13. You can see his numbers. Hasn't faced Cleveland, but you can see he gives up runs too. He can't go out without no runs. So we got both pitchers that give up runs. Both teams are struggling to hit the ball and score runs. So, I mean, you could take a Nerfy. I'm not. I'm going to pass. I told you, I'm being conservative. I'm not trying to give all my units back before the break gets here. So we're going to be conservative on that Nerfy. We're going to pass on that. Bats, slightly lean Tampa Bay. Pitching slightly leans. I mean, is it really a lean? They're both kind of They're both literally, if anything, I'll lean the over 7.5. Let's be honest. Even with the bats being like this, with these pitchers giving up these runs, I think they can get 7 runs because the bullpens are going to come in too. So I'll pass on that though. We're going to pass on the side total and Nerfy. Let's go with the props to see if anything stands out. Let's start with Pepio. He has not faced Cleveland. In his career, we see what he's done against the batters from Cleveland. No home runs, no RBIs. Not many at-bats. Cleveland versus righties. You can see how they do. There's a 335 for Quan. Outside of that, nothing is standing out too much really. So you can see those. Let's look at the props. Earned runs is 1.5. Ooh, that's it. That's it. Cleveland is cold. They are the cold one though. So maybe. Strikeouts, 5.5. No. Hits, no. Walks. He has been walking more, and 1.5 is walks. And Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland's one of the teams that doesn't strike out, which means they probably walk more. So yeah, we're gonna go Pepio over 1.5 walks for sure. We're not doing outs. I don't care about outs. Lively has not faced Tampa this year. He's only had 2 at-bats forever in his life against people. You can see how's Tampa hit righties, you ask? Here you go. And there's no 300s on the screen. Everybody's 295 is your best for Rosario, but there's nothing that impressive. It's kind of bad. So Tampa might struggle a little bit against righties. Yeah, nothing in the home run world there. Hits, no. Strikeouts, no. I need some good value, guys. Where's the value? Show me the value, because right now I'm not seeing any value, even the outs. So, okay, the only thing I'm taking in this game is Pepio to get 2 walks. I'm not taking any other props. I'm not taking a Nerfy, a side, or a total. Nope, pass to the next game. Next up, we got Pittsburgh and Chicago. You see that Pittsburgh is a pretty heavy favorite. Over under is 8.5. Looking at the bats, we see the Nerfy's pretty high, 66.8 based on what they've done this year. 3.7 versus 1.7 in runs. At 16th and 27th, 228 versus 177. Chicago struggling with runs and average. Pittsburgh is middle, so advantage Pittsburgh. Strikeouts are the same at 15th at 8.3. So looking at pitchers, we got Mitch Keller going out there for pity. 3.4 with a 1.2. Hasn't faced the White Sox here. On the screen, as you can see, 5.1. He's had some great games. His worst game was right here against St. Louis. 9-5, 7-2, pretty good numbers. I mean, you're going to have a bad game occasionally, and you got some gems in there. That works out for me. The only problem is we're going up against a bullpen dude. That makes it hard because we don't know, and he's not that good of a bullpen dude. Couple earned runs here and there, but he might go 0.1, he might go 3. What if Chicago's doing them weird bullpen things today? They're trying to get the work in before the break, so that makes it hard. So, but I would still say Keller is the advantage here. Pittsburgh has the advantage of the bats. Pittsburgh is a 200 favorite. So, I mean, welcome to the money line parlay, Pittsburgh, because that's all we're going to do with you. I'm not going to take a total. Let's go with the props because all I can do is Keller. Let's do the matchup. Pittsburgh against Chicago and Keller's. How has Chicago's offense done? DeJong has 1 home run and 9 at bats, but you can see the averages are terrible. Keller might shove today. That's how, look at these numbers. Chicago against righties is not good either. I mean, wow, these numbers are bad. Yeah, these numbers are terrible. Yeah, Keller might shove, let's be honest. Earned runs for Keller, 2.5. Strikeouts, no. Hits, he gives up hits though, and walks, no, and outs I don't care about. So, all right. Well, I'll show outs. You might care. Here's your outs. He's pretty consistent, yeah. I'll show the outs. So, all right, I'm not doing outs. So for this one, we're going to take Pitt money line mainly because of the pitching matchup advantage. Because Keller should take care of Chicago. Hell, what is Chicago's team total under? That's a fun one we might do because Chicago's struggling. I think Keller shoves. Hold up. We're going to have a little fun here, guys. Let's go to the odds. Let's come over here, go to team props. Chicago runs. What is the under of 3.5? Oh my goodness. Oh, I know I can't do that low. If it was 4.5, I could, but I'm not paying that kind of juice. So, all right, we tried. We tried to have a little fun. Didn't work. So, all right, we're just going to take Pittsburgh money line, throw in a money line parlay, and move to the next game. Next up, we got Texas and Houston. We have Houston as a slight favorite. Over under is 8. Looking at the numbers, super low nerfy based on what they've done. 2.3 versus 4.3 advantage Houston. 194 versus 230. I mean, a slight advantage Houston, but both are in the bottom 10. 9.7 versus 6.7 on strikeouts. Big advantage for Houston. Looking at the pitchers, we got Blanco going out there. Hasn't faced Texas recently. You can see the numbers, the stats there. He's been pretty decent. He had his worst game was a 5-4 or a 6-3, whichever one you want to call it. Pretty good numbers overall. Scherzer, great game when he came back. 4-2, 6-3. His worst game was probably his last game against LA. So, but still not bad numbers, let's be honest. So, but for what they're paying him, probably bad numbers. So I would give the advantage to Blanco slightly, let's be honest. So that's a slight advantage Blanco on the pitching. A slight to moderate advantage Houston in the the batting, and we have Houston 130. I am going to be taking Houston on the money line. That's what we're going to do. Not going to take a total in this one. Not going to take a nerfy. Yeah, I don't trust the pitchers that much, and yeah, so let's look at the props now. So we'll start with Blanco. Blanco has faced Texas once, had a 1.5 ERA over 9. We faced him twice because he has 12 innings now this year. So looking at the history, Blanco, how has Texas done against Blanco? 1 home run ever, and that was Heim. You can see the averages, pretty iffy. There's some couple 300s, but not many at bats. How does Texas hit righties? This is how they do it. Not many there's no 300s on the whole board. So Texas doesn't do too well against righties. They do okay, but not too bad. But not bad, not good enough. So pass on that. Hits over under 4.5 under. This burned me with Woods Richardson yesterday, so I'm not going to do it today. Yeah, I'm a little salty. I'm kind of just want to limp into the break. I had a great season, and this week's been rough, so I'm kind of just trying to limp there, just get there. Earn runs, no. Outs, no. Okay. Scherzer time. Scherzer has not faced Houston this year. You can see the career against Houston. Jordan's got 1. Diaz got 1. How does Houston hit righties? You could see we got some 300s on the board. We got some better numbers. Nothing standing out for me here either. Looking at the props, I went 2024 props, thank you, which is not many. Nothing is really. His hits are giving up more. Walks, no. Outs, he's getting more outs, but still don't trust it. So for me, I'm going to lay off the props. I'm going to lay off everything else. I'm just going to take Houston on the money line because it's a short line and move on to the next game. Next up, Washington and Milwaukee. We have Milwaukee as a pretty moderate favorite at home. 8.5 is your total. Looking at the numbers, 67.3 nerf. He's pretty high for what they've done this year. 3.7 versus 2.3 on the runs. So that's both bottom half. 288 versus 130. Washington is swinging the bat good. Milwaukee is not. They are almost there. Well, they are last in the last 3 games at 30th. And they're striking out a ton. 13.3 strikeouts. Milwaukee is just trying to get to the break, it looks like. They are struggling. So advantage Washington with the bats. Pitching, let's go over there. We got Irvin going out there, 313 to 104. You can see he hasn't faced Milwaukee, but he's been outside of his last game against the Mets. He was pretty stellar. I mean, he had an 8-4 against Arizona, but the numbers are there. I mean, he was balling out. He got roughed up this one, so kind of want to see how he bounces back. Ray, on the other hand, you can see his numbers. He got roughed up against Pittsburgh, stellar game against Colorado, roughed up against San Diego. So to me, I would give the advantage to Irvin. Irvin's been looking good this year, so all-star snub, maybe? I don't think he made the team. I think I saw somebody said that. So dude's been doing pretty good, so there we go. To me, I would give the advantage to him. I would give the advantage to Washington and the bats, and I'm going to take Washington money line. I'm just going to throw it out there. They're not going to go in the parlay. Not today. Not today. So we're going to take Washington money line for sure. Not in parlay. You write that out so I don't do that by mistake again, because I did it with Toronto 2 days ago. Okay, pop over here to the props. We'll start with Jake first. He has not faced Milwaukee. As you can see, his career against, you can see 1 home run and 5 bats to Willie here. Outside of that, you can see the averages. How does Milwaukee hit righties? A lot of 200s. There's a 100, 327 for Yelich. Yelich's doing pretty good. Has Yelich faced Irvin? Oh, yes, he has. He is 3 of 5 in his career. That's interesting. That's somebody who I would be taking over 1.5 bases or hits or whatever you want to call. So we'll add those eventually. So looking at the props, earned runs, no. Hayes 4.5, and Milwaukee is. How's Milwaukee swinging the bet? Oh, they're last in strikeouts. That's right. So, okay. Irvin over 4.5 Ks. Yeah, I will be taking that because I know he's only 7 out of 10. He's hit this number. Yeah, it's not a stupid number like, okay, 119 is the actual Caesar number, not a prize hit number today. Interesting. Hits. No, maybe under hits might be a thing. Walks. No, he's up and down. And pitching. Oops. That dude is consistent, is he not? I mean, I'm not taking outs today for anybody, but if you want consistency, this guy's got it for you. So there you go. So let's do Colin Ray. Hasn't faced Washington. Only has, well, I guess he walked him for Thomas. That's it. How does Washington hit righties? You can see the numbers here. They're up and down. We got 300, but not many at bats. So they're a little above 200, not much. Nothing impressive here. Let's look at the props array. Earned runs 2.5. No strikeouts. Washington's not striking out much, so I'm gonna pass. Hits. Nope. Walks. No, and pitching outs. He's kind of up and down a little bit too. So all right. So we got what we want. So for this one, all we're going to do is we're not taking a Nerfy because both pitchers got rocked last time and Washington's bats are doing pretty good. So we're not taking a Nerfy. We're going to take Washington money line by itself, not in a parlay. And we're going to take Irvin over 4.5 strikeouts in the next game. All right, next up, Cubs Cardinals. What a doubleheader mess up that was yesterday. Wow. Love when a bet gets ended, an under gets lost in the first inning. Love when that happens. Today, we have St. Louis as a slight favorite, 8.5 is your total. Looking at the bats, 59% Nerfy base, what they've done this year. 4 runs versus 5.7 in their last 3. They're both batting 302 and 303, so no Nerfy in this one. They're both batting good, especially after yesterday. No Nerfy at all. I am burned in that one. So 7.3 on both sides on strikeouts. So the advantages go to neither. They're both pretty hot. Maybe St. Louis slightly because of the runs. Look at pitching. We got Jameson going out there today, 2-9 with a 1-1-6. Has faced St. Louis recently. 7 innings, 2 earned runs. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. Back on June 16th. So that is some recent data. Mikolas, his stat for 8 with a 1-2-1, has faced the Cubs. Same series, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1. So he had a really good game. He had a bad game against Cincy. So his last game was pretty good against Washington. What was Jameson's last 2 games? 4-2, 4-2, 4-3. Yeah, that's what you expect. So to me, to be honest, I would still, these pitchers are about equal. Nothing's really standing out for me in this one. The bats, nothing are standing out. So I'm not taking a side. I'm not taking a total. I'm not taking a Nerfy. Let's pop over some props, see what we got. We'll start with Jameson. Has faced it. Obviously, he's faced him. He has 11 innings this year against him. So he's pitched against him twice at least. You can see the career against the Cubs, against St. Louis, what he had done. St. Louis has hit 1, 2, 3 home runs off him. The batting averages are pretty high. The Cubs like to face him, it looks like. You can see these numbers. Lots of 300s out there. That ain't good for him. How's St. Louis hit righties, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Let me show you. Not as well as they do against Jameson. They just like facing Jameson, it looks like. Burleson does good, but yeah, these Jameson numbers are, whew. Yeah, okay. Let's look at some props for Jameson here. Hits 5.5. Over might be a play because of this. That actually, you know what? Over 5.5 hits allowed because we saw the averages. We just got to. Strikeouts, I can't do. I mean, yeah, sure, but I can't do it. Earned runs, walks, outs. Yeah, he's pretty consistent, but we're going to take the hits allowed because of his matchup against St. Louis. Historically, you can see they love facing him. Lots of 300s and even a 400. They love this. No, yeah. It's not many at bats, but I think it's enough of a sample with enough consistency in guys that we're going to take the hits allowed. Let's pop over to Mikolas and see he has faced 12 innings against Chicago. Great numbers. The history here, 1 home run there, 1-1. It's not as bad. There is a 400 for Nico here, 324 for Hap. I mean, nothing's standing out too much. How do the Cubs hit righties? You can see pretty decently. Lots of 200s. There's a 385, but that dude doesn't play much. So yeah, there's your numbers. Let's look at some props. Hits, not in this one for him. Strikeouts, no. Earned runs, no. Walks and outs. Pretty consistent on outs too. So, all right, for this one, no, what happened? It broke. We'll fix that in a minute. So for this one, what we're going to do is we are going to take Italian over 5.5 hits allowed, and that's it in this one, and move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Twins and Giants. You can see Giants are slightly favored with an over under 7.5. Looking at the bats, you could see 55.8% Nerfy based on what's happened. With these pitchers, no shot. Can't do it. So 2.7 versus 4.0 on the runs. Advantage San Fran. 243 versus 245. No advantage there. 5.3 versus 7 strikeouts. Neither team strikes out much. Bats, this is why. Snell pitched a really good game in his last game. Let's be honest. 1 hit over 5. Great. But I'm still leery of Snell. Is Snell trying to get back to his 2023 form? I mean, with a games like this, sure. Only 3 strikeouts? I mean, come on. So, but I need to see more. I want to see more. Maybe second half he gets into his swing of things, maybe. But nah, I need more than 1 good game. So, Paddock, on the other hand, you can see what he's done. He gives up runs, though. That concerns me a good bit. We don't know what he's going to do. So, Nerfy's off the table there. I mean, looking at the numbers, Snell's better. Snell's better than somebody in stats this year. That's wild because he's gotten better over the course of the last 2 months. Paddock has been, he either pitches a gem or he is up and down, so we don't know. So I'm going to lay off a side. Total is currently sitting at 7.5. I'm going to lay off of that too. Nerfy, I'm laying off. We know the bats are average, so let's look at some props, see what we got. We'll start with Paddock. He has not faced San Fran. Flores has 2 home runs and 12 at-bats in his career. That's interesting. Yastrzemski has 2 home runs and 14 at-bats, and you see the numbers. Ooh, you know what? I might have to add one of these 2 dudes. And if I pick one, it's probably... Who's doing better this year against righties? Flores has 2 total against righties. Yastrzemski has 8. So we're going to add Yastrzemski of all people. Yes, if he's playing. I'll look at that stuff later, but for right now, his numbers look nice. I like when they face not much, have a 429. That's pretty good stuff. So against righties, let's look at the numbers. Not too good. 303. No, he don't play much, so you can see the stats there. And we can look at hits, 4.5. Oh, San Fran is 245. Strikeouts, he was doing good, but he's falling off on strikeouts. 3.5. Why? What? That is, go back to the bats. They don't strike out much, so we'll leave that alone. Earn runs, pass, walks. No, outs. No, okay. Let's pop over to Snell. Snell's not faced Minnesota. You can see the career. Santana's got a home run and 8 at-bats. Buxton's got 1 home run and 3 at-bats. Nothing standing out here. How does Minnesota handle lefties? Yeah, they love those lefties. Look at all this green. 3, high 2s, 4, 3. Oh, they love them some lefties. Great at bats. Santana's got 6 homers and 80 at bats. Okay, that makes me lean Minnesota now. Just from this. If anything, Blake Snow might be getting up some hits. What's his hits? 3.5? Yeah. I'm gonna kind of fade Snell here, but I'm gonna go with that what we just saw. We're gonna take Snell to over 3.5 hits allowed. I think that can happen because yeah, Minnesota is falling off a little bit, but they have curved. Yeah, 3.5 is pretty low. We'll rock with that. Strikeouts. Let's look at 5.5. No, you ain't burning me again. I think I've lost all these Reds. So earned runs. Yeah, no. Walks, outs. No. Okay. All right. So only thing I'm going to take in this one, I'm going to take Snell over 3.5 hits allowed. I'm not going to take the sides or anything like that. We'll just move on to the next game. All right. Next up, we got Seattle and LA Angels. We have Seattle as a pretty heavy favorite, 8.5 total. Looking at the bats, 52.5 NRFI based on what they've done this year. 5.7 runs for Seattle for 6. Angels 2.7 for 22nd. 290 versus 226, advantage Seattle again there. And Seattle's not striking out that much. Look at them doing better. 8 strikeouts in the last 3 for 14th. What is up with Seattle? They are doing great. They're normally 29th or 30th. And 8.7 for LA for 19th. So advantage Seattle in strikeouts. What is going on? Wow, crazy. Pitching, we have a relief pitcher going out there for the Angels today. He even got the logo on him. He's still a free agent according to ESPN, but he's pitching. So they just haven't updated his back flag team thing here. So he got the hat on though, so good job. But he's a reliever, so we don't have anything on him. He got roped up in his last one. It's only a reliever. We can do. Gilbert's going out there for Seattle. You can see the numbers here. He's been pretty good overall. Nothing's really standing out. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's look at the props. Gilbert has faced the Angels a good bit. You can, I mean, not many bats, but you can see a lot of green. 2 home runs and 3 at bats for Ohop. I feel like we talked about this yesterday, and that he got pushed back for a reason. I think it did, because I remember seeing Ohop again, and Ward had one, and Nito. Yep, this looks like for yesterday, same thing. How does Angels hit righties? You can see 11 home runs for the year for him. Ohop has 11. You can see the numbers. Let's look at the props, see if anything stands out here and there. Earned runs, walks, no. Pretty consistent, but 18.5, no, not in this one. So, all right, so this one's a weird one because we have a reliever and nothing in the prop land looks good. Stats lean Seattle heavily, pitching leans Seattle heavily, and the money line leans Seattle. So we're going to take Seattle money line for sure. So take that. Seattle goes in the money line parlay as well. It's going to be a big one. So that's it in this one. Move on to the next one. All right, next game, Toronto, Arizona. We have Arizona as a pretty heavy, moderate favorite. 8 user total. Looking at the bats, 53.1 NRFI based on what they've done this year. 3.3 versus 6 on the earned runs. Advantage Arizona in the last 3. 245 versus 281. Slight advantage Arizona in the last 3. And Toronto is not striking out much. Arizona's middle of the road at 8.3. So at bats, advantage Arizona moderately, I would say. Looking at the pitching, we got Gallin going out there with a 3-3 with a 1-1-4. You can see what he's done. He didn't pitch a lot of June, but in his last couple games, he hasn't been all that great. Got a little roughed up a little here and there. Kikuchi's going out there. His last few games have been good. He had a rough June, but July's been a little bit better for him. You can see he hasn't faced Arizona, so not much of a advantage in pitching in this one. So far it's a push. With the bats being where they are and the pitching where it is, I would probably lay off a side. I'm going to lay off a total. We're definitely going to take a nerf with these two dudes. So let's look at the props. Let's start with Kikuchi. He's a lefty. He's not faced Arizona. Career has not given many home runs. You can see the at-bats for the Arizona batters. How does Arizona hit lefties? Let me show you. They like them some lefties. Lots of green. High 3s. We got 4. We got high 2s. Yeah, we got some good stuff. I might be taking some hits against Kikuchi. Let's see. His earned runs is 2.5. I don't want to do that one. Even though Arizona's bats are hotter, slightly strikeouts. He had 13 strikeouts last game. That's impressive. No. Hits, 5.5 hits. They like to hit against him. They like to hit lefties. So, yeah, we will be taking this one. We're going to take Kikuchi over 5. Is that 5.5? It's allowed. And that is, the number is everywhere. Okay, so 5.5 hits allowed because of the way we saw the matchup and because we know Arizona's bats are doing pretty good. 281 while getting 6 runs. Yeah, we'll take that. So walks, pass, outs, pass. Let's go to Gollin now. Hasn't faced Toronto this year. You can see the history. Springer has 1 home run and 9 at bats. Outside of that, Turner has struggled against him. Wow, 167, 18 at bats. So how does Toronto hit righties? Let me show you. You can see the numbers. Nothing is really impressive. There's a 438, but doesn't play much. If anything, the low numbers is what's impressing me. So Gollin seems to like Toronto doesn't do well against righties, put it that way. So earned runs, no. Strikeouts, no. Hits, that is up and down. I don't want to do that. Walks and outs. So you can see, nothing's really standing out there. So for this one, I'm not going to take a side. I'm not going to take the total. I'm not going to take a Nerfy. I'm going to take Kikuchi to allow 6 hits. That's it. That's all I want to do. Over 5.5, move on to the next game. Our last game, we get the Braves and the Padres. Braves are a pretty heavy favorite. 7.5 is your total. Looking at the bats, we see Nerfy is highlighted, 64.1. We have Sales pitching in this one. I don't know how long he's going to pitch. That's a question. It's the weird one. So Braves are only getting 2 runs a game in their last 3 for 26. San Diego 1.7. So both of them in the bottom 4 when it comes to runs. 200 and 247. Bats are average for San Diego. Atlanta's bottom 6, 7.7 and 5. Neither team is striking out. San Diego never strikes out much. Atlanta's in the middle of the road. So over on the bats, there's no advantage. They're both terrible. Let's be honest. So let's look at the pitchers. Wrong pitchers. Let's bring out the right pitchers. We're going to do it live on screen because I don't feel like recording again. So there's Chris Sale, and I also need Mr. Vasquez. Come on down, buddy. There you go, right there. Start with Chris Sale first. Again, we don't know how he only pitched 5.1 last game. I'd be surprised if he pitches 5 innings today. Who knows what they're going to do with him? So because he should be in the All-Star game unless something happens. So, but good numbers. He has not faced San Diego recently, and Vasquez game log 6.2. He hasn't faced Atlanta recently, but outside of that game, he's been pretty good too. So, yeah, I need to look at the rosters to see who's actually in the All-Star game too, because these are good numbers too. So let's look at props. See if anything stands out. Like I said, I'm just not taking pitch outs today. That's the main thing I'm avoiding. So Vasquez has faced Atlanta once this year, has 6 innings, went 0-1, 4.5 earned run over 9. History, Rosario has 1 hit, 1 home run and 1 at bat against him. Ozuna has 104 at bats, but he's 3 of 4. That's impressive. How does Atlanta hit righties? You can see right here the numbers. Nothing is really, if anything, there's no 300s. That's what's really standing out here. Okay, interesting. So this is Vasquez. Hits allowed. It's at 5. What 5 is a weird. See, it's only on 1 book too. This is why it's weird. I don't trust that. I don't trust any of these if it's just 1 book. Okay, so they have Ks at least, but hits at 5. That's weird. I don't know. Earned runs, walks, outs. No, nothing standing out. Sale, you can see he pitched 7 innings earlier against him one time. History, he's never given up a home run if they haven't even done too well against him. How does San Diego hit lefties? Not well. I mean, there's a 300 there for Solano, but other than that, a 429, but 7 doesn't count. 340 for Profar, that's pretty nice. Outside of that, nothing's really standing out here. Props for this one's going to be weird. I mean, I'm not taking his strikeouts over. Is he going to pitch enough to get that many strikeouts? We don't know. Hits, earned runs. You can look at these. I'm not going to take any of these. I'm just going to show them so you can see them. But yeah, 18.5. I don't. He might. Yeah, who knows? So we're going to skip on all the props there. So we're going to stay with this. This one, I'm not taking a prop. I'm not going to take a total because I don't know who's pitching for real for the rest of the full game. I'm not going to take a side because they're both To me, I'm just going to pass completely on this last game and call it a day. I think we got enough already. That's it. All 15 games broken down. I try to do it faster. That way this video doesn't go an hour because every game's a day game today because there is no Sunday Night Baseball today because All-Star break is here. Let's do a quick recap. But first, drop a like, subscribe. Check out Outlier because you get cool things like this. You get to see the props. They're awesome. Or you get to see the matchups. Here, you can want to see all the matchups. There they are. Awesome. They're great. It's a great service. I love working with them. Link in the description. Check them out for a free week. They're great. Let's pop back over here to the recap time. Overall, let's see. We'll start with New York and Baltimore. All I'm taking is Kramer over 4.5 strikeouts. KC Boston, I'm gonna go Bello over 2.5 earned runs, but KC to win the game also. So money line. Oakland Philly, pass. Shocking, I know, right? Miami and Cincy, I'm gonna go over 9. LA Detroit, pass. Colorado Mets, Mets money line. Cleveland Tampa Bay, Pepia, however you say his name, over 1.5 walks. That's it. Pitt, White Sox. I'm going to take Pitt money line. Texas, Houston money line. Washington, Milwaukee. Washington money line, it's plus, so it's not going in the parlay. And we're also going to take Irvin over 4.5 strikeouts. Cubs and Cardinals, we're going to take Talion over 5.5 hits allowed. Minnesota, San Fran, we're going to take Blake Snell over 3.5 hits allowed. So just to give up 4 hits, basically. Seattle, LA, Seattle money line. Toronto, Arizona, Kikuchi to allow 6 hits. So over 5.5 hits allowed. ATL and San Diego is just going to be a pass. So on the home run, people, I typed in, I got Judge down. I got Yastrzemski from San Fran down. But outside of that, maybe Yelich. I mean, just looking at averages, because there wasn't nothing that really stood out to me. So I'm not going to really dabble in home runs today. It's going to be a weird day. So no home runs. You saw me break them down. You can pick from there. So I'm going to delete the home runs because I'm not going to do them. So moneyline parlay, I have a 5-game moneyline parlay. It's going to be KC, the Mets, Pittsburgh, Houston, and Seattle. That's it. So those are all the plays. I appreciate you watching. If you watched the whole video, if you're just watching the recap, hey, I appreciate you being here too. Appreciate you subscribing, sharing with people, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.